I remember during that recession, and when we had sold the business, all the banks turned their backs on us, all of them.
We didn't sell the business, we sold the factory.
That is Maria Vanderpark, VP and co-founder of NovaLink, and Tony Vanderpark, president and co-founder of NovaLink. After building a company for more than 4 decades, they learned firsthand what happens when businesses rely too heavily on outside financing.
That's why you had to have the cash, because you don't want to be dependent on the banks or anybody else.
They break down why cash flow is important and how financial independence protects your company when institutions shift their priorities.
And there's a big advantage to operating off of cash. You don't have to do all the reporting. It changes the whole complex of your business. It changes your relationships with insurance companies, with banks, with lawyers, with everything.
In this conversation, they share how operating from financial strength reshapes decision-making, strengthens negotiating power, and creates true long-term stability. By the end of this conversation, you will understand why disciplined growth and financial independence are the foundation of lasting resilience. I'm Silvana Vanderpark, and this is Workspace Design Lab.
It's interesting. Where I want to go with this is talking about kind of where you came from and how you got to be where you are now. It was a big jump. Family of 10. Both parents were around, but your mom really played a heavy part in raising.
Well, my mother was the nourishing type and the learning type. He always pushed us to go to school and learn and be educated. And my father was disciplined. We couldn't swear. We couldn't, we had to be at home at a certain time. We couldn't be out. We couldn't wear.
Well, you could be out, but you couldn't be out late.
Short skirts. Yeah, like short skirts or anything like that.
You couldn't wear pants.
No, that's right.
Yeah.
These pants are for men.
Yeah.
So it was always skirts. But my sister Anna and I, when we were teenagers, we used to have the skirt down below the knee, half the calf. But when we left to go, to the ice cream shop or whatever, we rolled up the skirt to have the mini skirt.
Oh. That was quite the roll up.
Quite the roll up, yes. But, at least we were in fashion. So we thought, it was fine.
Right. Just from a business standpoint, So, what were the life lessons that you learned? Because it informs how you run the company.
In Mexico, you didn't go into debt. If you bought the things, you had to have the cash. You didn't go into mortgages. You didn't go for loans. So it was cash. You whatever you have. So since I was small, my grandfather was an influence on me because he used to run his candy shop very tight.
Yeah.
And they were very careful with the money.
Right.
And as I remember, there weren't banks at that time in the town, and he used to have the coins, and there was silver and gold coins at that time.
Right.
And the paper money. And the paper money with the rainy season used to get mold. And he used to put the money in when the sun came out outside and dry the money. So I always looked, and they were always counting the money with my grandmother, and they were very prudent.
Yeah.
So whatever they did, there was in cash. And it was a cash society back then. Nobody went into mortgages or loans. Banks
no credit cards.
No. Banks were looked upon when they came in just to save money and make some interest on it.
Right. So you got that early experience with money that way. And then your first business experience, let's say.
Well, my mother, taking after my grandfather, had a candy shop, and we sold waters, like flavored waters in the market. And my mother was a spender. She couldn't have enough money. Like, she liked to buy a lot of food because when we were growing up, we were so poor that sometimes we only had a meal per day. And even, like in the evenings, we used to have the cena.
Yeah.
But it was bread and café con leche, or just coffee or tea.
Yeah.
And sometimes we didn't even have money for coffee or tea, proper tea. So we used to go to the neighbor, and they had lime trees, and we used the lime leaves to make tea, and we had bread. And my sister Anna, she liked to eat a lot, and I always felt bad. And we only had one sweet bread and one white bread for each of us, or the children. And so we were, rationed. And my son, I was always hungry, so I always gave her an extra piece of bread to her. And but it was tough. But we were kids, and we had a lot of freedom in the street, so we didn't feel like we were oppressed. And because there were so many poor people, the same as us, we didn't feel bad,
right,
at all.
Yeah.
And then some of the neighbors kind of helped us out. Sometimes they gave us some extra milk, or one lady that we used to clean the theater for gave us a lot of powdered chocolate. And oh boy, we love that. Now I taste it like, oh my God, we like that. But when you're a kid
Yeah.
and it's something new. So people used to give us little things in there. And across the street from straight from our home, there was a bakery, the local bakery. And the man there always felt sorry for us. And when my mother used to give us the money to go and buy the bread, and he looked at us, or Anna and I always went there, or myself, and he says, looked really funny. And he didn't say much, but then he put pilon. Pilon means a little extra.
Yeah.
So he put more bread in the bag because we knew we needed it. So that was nice. So it was a real community. So we didn't feel like outcasts.
Yeah.
We felt hungry.
Yeah.
As children.
Something worth pointing out is your family had their home. You had a home.
Yeah. My grandfather bought a house, which he paid 7 pesos back in 19 something.
Yeah.
And the house was divided between my aunt and my mother. So we always had a place to live. And we always had, my grandfather died in 1963, and my grandmother lived to be over 100 years old. We don't know because she went through 2 revolutions, and all the paperwork from, the births and everything got burnt. So we really don't know how old she was, but she died of an old age, and she was very healthy.
Yeah.
But she was always with her cane chasing us, because we had my grandfather had a little orchard on the back of the house, inside the house on the backyard, kind of a backyard, and a lot of little fruit trees, but my grandmother wouldn't allow us to have any of that fruit. So that always stuck with me. So when my grandfather passed away, and my grandmother looked after my grandmother for the food, making the food, and my aunt paid for the food. They used to, each one of us took a turn every day to take food to my grandmother. And I always refused, because I said, no, she's a mean person. And my mother said, no, she's your grandmother. You got to go and, look after her. And when we went to see her, then a bunch of kids, came, all the kids came around. And she just say, okay, take a puff, because she asked us to light up her cigarettes. She used to roll the cigarettes, and with the tobacco, it was very clean. And it says, take a puff. And all the kids took turn taking a puff, but I didn't like the taste, so I never did.
Yeah.
And but she was quite a character. She had a lot of gold. My grandfather bought a lot of gold earrings and whatever rings and stuff for her. And she has her stash. And big arracadas, we call them, really rings, And as I remember, my grandmother, she liked to look after herself. She was Indian, and my grandfather was Spanish background. And she used to put a lot of cream, this pomada de la campana, and she used to put it, just to rub it. And her skin was smooth as a baby's bum. And so in that regard, and she was very clean. She was always taking a shower in front of us, naked in the, by the pila where we had the water, with a tank.
Yeah.
But as kids, you don't pay attention. It's part of nature and stuff like that. So, she was quite a character.
Yeah.
And I remember when she met your dad, and your dad had the long hair, and she thought it was a girl, and says, cochina. Make the trenzas, braid your hair.
Braid your hair.
And so Antonio remembers that. So it was all, family business. My grandmother looked after the money pretty good. My grandfather was very hardworking. And so what I can say about Mexico is we are small entrepreneurs, from the kids that sell the candies in the market, or we used to go in the buses and and sell our stuff in the bus terminal, and everybody sells something.
Yeah.
And so you learn to look after the money and whatever. And I was a really tight one because my mother used to come around every Sunday when I did some good business, and she would say, well, give me the money. And I go, no, what do you need? Well, I need meat. I need, because on Sundays we always had meat because we did well in the market. And that was the only day that we had meat. But she used to put a lot of vegetables in the stew. And I need meat, I need this, I need that. I said, okay, here you go. You have so much, you can buy stuff. No, give me all. And I said, no. I said, why not? I said, because you spend it all. And then during the week, we don't have any money to buy food. I always thank the people of the town, really, because some of them were mean to us, but that meanness hit me on my pride. And I said, oh, I'll show you. You don't put us down.
Yeah.
I have my pride. I'm poor, but I'm proud.
Yeah.
And they used to tell us, well, your father's a drunk and you're the daughter of a drunk. You end up marrying a drunk. And I said, no, I won't. No, I won't. And my mother used to say, oh, don't be like that with people because you never know when you're going to need them. And don't do that because, you are too proud. I said, Mom, the pride is the only thing that keeps us going, our dignity.
Yeah.
And said, yeah, but we might need them. And I said, well, whatever.
Well,
and but one of the things that both of my parents did, they instilled hard work on us, all of us.
Yeah.
And some of us are lazy, some of them are hard workers, but we had to fend for ourselves. And one of the advices that I always remember going places, they always said, both of them said, when you go to another house and they invite you, you don't ask for anything. If they offer, fine, but you don't ask. You're not a beggar.
Yeah.
And you always pitch in to help out.
Yeah.
You get nothing for nothing. Okay. So you just, if they give you something, you offer to do something for them. You always pay back.
Yeah.
And you always be honest.
Yeah.
And you don't take a penny. And then you just remember that.
Yeah.
Just work hard.
Yeah.
And there's no money that you're going to look after more than what you earn with the sweat of your forehead. That's what they used to say.
Yeah. Fast track, you end up going to college. And you eventually, through soccer, in a way, make your way out. You meet Dad. You head up to Canada. And then you guys end up starting a business. Your shrewdness that came from those early years help you guys to, save up some. You're still helping your family back home in Mexico. And then comes time to the opportunity to run the business together and start up the business. I kind of want to touch on, this is in Toronto in the 80s. Do you have any experience that you'd share about, let's say being a female, a co-owner as a female, running a business in the 80s? Is there any insights there?
I never thought about myself being a woman business person. We saw opportunities with your dad. I was always ready to help your dad out in any way that I could, even when he had his first job coming out of school. And it was tough, those years that he went to school and we had to live in subsidized housing and the problems that go with it, and having 2 little kids to look after. It was tough, but we made it through.
The problems will be the problems.
But I never looked at myself like, oh, I'm a woman, I'm going to make it. It's just, you have certain things within you and you say, I'm going to help Tony, I'm going to help my husband, I'm going to be behind him.
Yeah.
And even when he was working for Beauty Line, I always helped him with a trade show. I remember I went to help him to set up trade show in Toronto, and I helped him with paperwork. And I was always behind him. I always supported him. And I always thought that your dad was really smart and in designing and doing things. And when he used to work at the factory in Chatham, when we first got married, I told him, I said, you're too smart to work in a factory. So you, as a team, we're 50-50. So I supported him going to school, and then he supported me going back to school, but I had the 2 little kids and I couldn't do it anymore. And then the opportunity for the business came in, and it just happened to be there at the right time, at the right place. We were very lucky.
You had an accounting background.
I have an accounting background, so it was easy for me to, prepare quotes, invoices, and packaging. I used you and Adrian to package all those little plates for the telephone system. And
collating papers.
Collating brochures.
And when we started the business, Dad had a partner. I was just helping out, and then that didn't work out. And then when it was time to get rid of the partner, I said, well, now it's 50-50. If I go into it, it's 50-50. So he said, okay. So I said, okay, then it's 50-50.
Was that easy?
That was as easy.
Yeah.
Trust each other.
Yeah, it was, the partner had a drinking problem, and we had to buy him out.
Yeah.
In a panic, just as things were starting to percolate, and there wasn't much money in the company, but we ended up buying him out.
Yeah.
And so I received the share.
Yeah.
And so, because we had been equal partners, and bingo, the share went over to your mother.
So, yeah. And we started with $1,500. That's what the company started with, $1,500. And from, I had my little typewriter from university, and I used to type the quotes and the invoices to Bell Canada.
In the kitchen.
In the kitchen, in the apartment in Port Credit. And if we had to thank people for helping us out, it is the Hills, our landlords, and Electronic Metaform. Because when I used to take you as a baby and go to Scarborough to pick up the parts, I used to give them a check. And I remember the accountant there said to me, because we were very young at that time, he says, little girl. She used to call me little girl. And, with you in my arms, right? And driving the old Volare that leaked.
The old Volare, yeah.
They leaked the roof leaked. When it rained, we all got wet. And he used to say, little girl, you don't have to pay me right now, we could wait. And I said, no. We pay our debts. And we pay on time. So here you go. And we'll manage. But they offered to extend me longer credit. Yeah. But I always made sure that our vendors got paid.
Yeah.
And I tried to be very fair with all our vendors. Sometimes during the recession, we could have, because we were doing very well with the globalization, and we could have said, oh no, give me half the price. But I said, no, fair is fair. You treat them fairly, they treat you fairly. And that's how we connected with so many vendors, and it's been a good relationship with 90% of them that we've done business with since the beginning in 1983. And so that's one other thing is I try to be fair with employees. I try to be fair with everybody. I don't, if there's a chance of ripping somebody off, no, I will never do that.
And where does that come from?
My parents.
Your parents. Yeah.
And his parents.
Yeah.
Both
of them.
But big time from your parents, from your both your mother and your father.
Oh my goodness. No. You don't. Even though Mexico is known for, give them $20 and you think you have to give them $10 to keep it. No, my family.
Yeah.
No. And that's my dad. He had his problems, but he was a really straight, disciplinary.
Yeah.
And my mother, she was, a saint, really. She was so giving, hard worker. My God, to the very end, very hard worker. Yeah. Never gave up. She was always us as kids, not having much. And 6 o'clock in the morning, there goes 5:30, 6 o'clock. She used to get up and start making things to sell outside the school to support us, because my father.
She would make sandwiches and stuff like that?
No, she made gorditas, little,
Yeah.
And anything to sell outside to make a living. And she was always just so straight, and she always gave us all the food, and sometimes she didn't have any for herself when we were little.
Yeah.
And so when she got older and she used to buy just so much food, everything went bad in the kitchen because she had no refrigerator. But I understood why, because she didn't want anybody to go hungry anymore.
Yeah.
And, you know very well that your grandmother always helped people that had less than her.
Yeah.
And people that came around and asked for her help, she never said no.
Yeah.
Even if she had to borrow money
Yeah.
to help other people, she always did that.
Yeah.
So she was a very giving person.
Hey, have you noticed how complicated workspace planning can get? Between priorities, costs, and endless decisions, it's easy to lose track of what really matters. At NovaLink, we cut through that complexity with a product and a process designed to simplify the journey. Our experienced team walks with you every step of the way, bringing knowledge, guidance, and a practical plan you can trust. If that kind of support sounds right for you, just click the QR code or see the link in the show notes. All right, back to the conversation.
Can you describe, because I'm curious about the business. Your grandfather had the candy business. Your grandfather and grandmother had the candy business. And then basically your mother inherited it, right?
No.
What did your mother inherit from?
Nothing. Just the house, half of the house. The candy shop was supposed to be for my aunt. My mother had only one sister, Luisa, and she was like my second mother. And this aunt loved money,
and gold,
loved gold, loved life.
Mm-hmm.
And even though she was illiterate, she was extremely, extremely intelligent and charismatic.
As was your mother.
Yeah. Oh, my mother was very smart.
Yeah.
But she was very unpractical. But my mother was very straighter than my aunt, I would say.
Oh, yeah.
A lot straighter than my aunt.
Quieter, too.
Yes. And my aunt was supposed to inherit the business. But then my grandfather got cancer. And he struggled for about 15 years with the cancer. And all of his money, because they were very well off, there was no public health care. So he spent all his money in the cancer treatment.
Yeah.
And half of the house, because it used to be like almost half a block that he owned, half of it where the orchard was and the extra land, he sold to the neighbors.
Yeah.
And to be able to pay for the bills. So, and then my aunt started her own business, selling pottery.
Yeah.
And my mother, by default, inherited the clients that my grandfather had, but my father paid for special lessons for my aunt for very special candy making, and my mother only learned by looking at it because my mother was already married, and she was kind of like they treated like an outcast with my grandmother, so she didn't get all the benefits that my aunt got.
Okay.
But my mother learned to make the candy fruit and all sort of stuff. And she was very gifted in that regard.
But your mother would make trips to Mexico City, right, to buy candy?
Special candy that she didn't make.
Yeah.
Okay. Like the little wrap candy and the special jamoncillo and the specialty stuff, like the citruses and stuff. But all the orange, candied orange, figs, tejocotes, local fruit that she was famous for the candy fruit.
Yeah.
Very famous.
Yeah, the figs and the
figs,
orange peel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm just thinking about when you told me about the story when you were 7 years old and you went with your mother to Mexico City.
With my aunt.
Was it with your aunt?
It was with my aunt.
Oh, I thought it was with your mother.
No. I remember she took me the first time, my Aunt Luisa, to Mexico City. And she was not like afraid or whatever. She was very outgoing. And we're going in the bus. And then we take the bus from the terminal in Mexico City to the big market where they used to buy the extra candy. And I had no shoes. I was not wearing shoes. And my aunt singing her heart out in the bus. And everybody's clapping or whatever, and she was not shy at all. And like I said, she was very charismatic. Takes me to the market, and then we go to see relatives of my grandfather, and well-off people.
Yeah.
Very nice. Her name was Maria, Aunt Maria, and she looked like, you think of Maureen O'Hara.
Okay.
She was her hairdo, coiffed, and everything, very proper and everything. And my cousin Cecilia, she was an only child. Her father was a pilot, and I think he died. And my aunt, her mother, was an opera singer.
Yeah.
And I remember Cecilia, my cousin, looked at me and says, "Oh, what size shoes are you?" But she was already a teenager. But regardless of the shoes didn't fit me, but she gave me a couple of pair of shoes, so I wouldn't be shoeless going home.
Yeah.
And I remember they making
because you didn't have any shoes going
I didn't
over.
have any shoes. And I remember the soup that they gave us very well, garlic soup. It's equivalent
very
to the
Spanish.
very Spanish, yeah. And like the Spanish, like the onion soup, the French onion soup, but it was garlic.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah.
And I go, this is different. I didn't like it.
You didn't like it.
I didn't like it, but I ate it because my mother always said, whatever they put in front of you, you eat.
You eat.
And
unless it's fish head soup, huh?
Unless
Make your husband eat it.
There you go.
But anyhow, that aunt was very nice. And my cousin Cecilia, she's still alive. She's 90-something now.
Yeah.
And I keep in touch with her daughter.
Yeah.
Through Facebook.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Facebook.
I tell you, that's how I found her.
That's amazing.
Facebook.
Yeah. You've kind of given little snippets, but let's say somebody in your position when you were a child, what would you give as advice?
Work hard, what my parents taught me. Pitch in when you go someplace else.
Yeah.
Don't sit and wait to be waited on. Learn, read. Don't go into those playing games on video games. Keep your mind busy. Always learn something new. Never stop learning. Never stop learning. And when the opportunities are there, take them because they don't come back. Take them.
If I can add, to be generous, to be really generous, which you share that spirit, Sil. And Maria's mother, it totally stunned me. We were there for a Christmas and I saw her. We had we were doing well. And so there was lots of food. The family was in both houses. A lot of food had been prepared. The kids were all eating and so on. And there was her mother getting plates full of food and taking it out to the street because the street kids in the town, there were homeless children or maybe just poor children that were underfed. Yeah. And they were coming down to where your mother's house was, and they were sitting on the sidewalk on the opposite side of the road. And you know that sidewalk yourself so well. And your grandmother was taking platefuls of food out to each one and progressively feeding them. Yeah. And that's walking the walk in my book. You talk about being generous, but it to me, it was astounding. It was almost biblical. And she had that in her, deep in her, that I think was really astounding. Your mother had that.
One advice I have for everyone, no matter how old they are, small, big, whatever. If life gives you lemons, make lemonade. If there's never anything bad that comes your way that you're going to turn into something that's going to happen to be good.
I guess turning now to running a company, a husband and wife company, family business. What's that been like? You've had the company now
45 years.
45 years. Gosh.
Yes.
That's crazy. What it's been like running a husband and wife team.
I never found it not hard at all. Like getting along, he stays in his side, I stay in my side, I run my department, he runs his department. We don't cross each other, and we always talk business at home. I try not to do it anymore. Still do breakfast and dinners and whatever, but you need a break sometime. But it's I think that he had his office in one and then I was on the other
The
end,
old
really
office,
really work well. I haven't found any difficulties working with Tony at all. It's just sometimes we work a little too much.
A little too much.
A little too much. I think we have to learn to balance and our life a little more. And sometimes, life gives you a knock on the head, and that's when you really say, yeah, I better do it now. But it's been a treat that we were at the right place at the right time, and we grew. And we have you that you have taken the interest in the business and really helped us out to grow, really, because since the 80s when you joined the company, we didn't have to worry too much about like customer service and sales as much, because your dad used to do all that, and now you're taking a big load of that, so he can concentrate only on design, and that he's really good at it, and the fact that we were able to find so many good people to work for the company,
so many good
people,
and who
has made our life easy.
Yeah.
And I'm forever grateful to them, and even in the hard times, in the really bad recession. And I said to Dad, well, should we fold the company? Because it was
tough,
really tough. And because we were putting our own money, sold the cottage to put the money into the business.
After 2007.
2007, yeah. And it was very tough. And then I looked at it, I said to Dad, you know what? To Tony, those people have given their life for us. They've worked for us for so many years. We owe it to them to keep the company alive and let's get going.
Keep on sacrificing.
So we kept on, Tony and I didn't pay ourselves for 3 years, but we paid the employees. So
I'm getting paid now, am I?
and pay the vendors.
We're still eating rice and beans, right?
And so I paid the government the taxes or whatever And I remember during that recession, and when we had sold the business and all the banks turned the backs on us, all of them, even the accountant, and I shouldn't, our accountant.
We didn't sell the business. We sold the factory.
We
sold the building, yeah.
Yeah, the building.
Yeah, the building, yes. We could have said, we'll give you a second mortgage to make it through, because we have plenty of assets. It's not like we were cash poor, but no asset poor.
Yeah.
And nobody came. So that's one thing. That's why you have the cash, because you don't want to be dependent on the banks or anybody else.
Yeah. And there's a big advantage to operating off of cash. You don't have to do all the reporting. It changes the whole complex of
with the banks,
complexion of your business. It changes your relationships with insurance companies, with banks, with lawyers, with everything.
Yeah.
So it's tempting sometimes to go into that and build a new big factory, whatever. And I said, no,
not worth leveraging.
Not worth it.
No, you wait till the cash flows there.
Till the cash flow. You have the cash, then you do it. You don't have the cash, because when you need it, they have no mercy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yeah, which they showed.
Like Shasha Gabor said, honey, you go to Hollywood, be careful, because they use you, they chew you up, and they spit you out. And that's the banks.
I got sidetracked in all of that.
Yeah, I know.
Gosh.
It's emotional.
It is emotional.
It's the basic ABCs of what we grew up with that ultimately comes back as a force of power. In your moment of need. It comes back, and suddenly it's what carries you through. You go back to your basics, and that's what does it.
Okay, so what are your basics?
Is hard work. Ultimately, it's hard work. You do the best you can. Ultimately, that was always the core driving point. You do the very best you can.
And you're thinking right now, you work hard, you sacrifice, and with working with your spouse, you compromise. You never get everything that you want or whatever, but you compromise, and it works out.
Mm-hmm.
And like your dad always says that, oh, you think you're always right. Well,
you are.
98%, but I compromise, like
that 2%.
Oh, yeah?
Well, it was nice how it kind of dovetailed in, and I wanted to go here, which was, your husband and wife team, family business, family culture, very family oriented, it's, us kids, we grew up with, everything, all that around, and everything was always above board, always family friendly. And I think the people who are with us and who have been with us through through the years, they become family, and they really are family to us. And that's the one thing that I've always said. I do it for the people in the plant. I got to work hard. I got to get these sales in because I got to keep them busy and
That's
stuff
what
like
drives
that.
me. That's what drives me
and
too.
You've got, there's great stories like you helped them to save money, right? So they could buy houses, because some people, they came to the country, maybe not with the same kind of mindset of save up your money and buy a house. It was, but you helped them.
They were good people.
Establish
You're
mortgages
thinking
and stuff
like
like
Victor.
I'll tell you, yes, the Victor story. He overreached for his mortgage, and then the bank was gonna take away the house, and they wouldn't remortgage it.
Right.
And says, I paid too much and I'm in trouble. And he came and said, can you just be a cosigner?
Yeah.
I don't want any money from you. It's just you cosign for the loan. And I promise you, I'll never disappoint you.
Default, yeah.
And I said, sure. Didn't think twice about it.
Yeah.
Now I was thinking twice about it with new employees because I don't know them.
Yeah.
It's a different type of generation.
But, and then Sonny, you helped him,
Yeah, everybody bought the house.
And people sometimes didn't quite believe in the whole savings plan and all that kind of stuff, but then it paid out.
Well, I when the company was doing really well, we used to always give bonuses, and I gave some cash to them so they could have for Christmas.
Yeah.
And then most of the money went into an RSP.
Yeah.
On the company sponsor.
Yeah.
RSP. They got really upset at me.
Yeah.
Some of them got really upset. Give me my money. I said, it's not your money. It's the company giving you money.
Yeah.
But it's not really your money. You want it. It's it's the company money.
Right.
We don't have to give you anything. And after the years went by, they were very pleased because they had some cash.
Savings. Yeah.
They had some savings.
So you pulled that old routine from your mom on the employees, but then they appreciated it. So it taught them, the value of savings.
Yeah, it's like the Singapore story, right? With the forced savings. How did Singapore bring itself out of the mud? It literally the mud. The president imposed a savings plan on the people that they had to save, and gradually people built up wealth.
Yeah.
And then Singapore built up fabulous wealth.
Yeah.
And then really became one of the key driving forces in the emergence of China. They were able to invest so heavily that and Taiwan, they invested heavily into China.
Yeah.
I know we're getting a little off topic,
it's fine.
But it's a story that's repeated again and again,
Yeah.
The Canadians used to be known for being the best savers in the world.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
We had the highest savings rate.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
And not anymore.
I don't think so anymore.
No.
Yeah, I as a child, I had my parents opened a bank account.
They used to have more. I think RBC still has like a young savers kind of account.
I had a regular bank account.
But right. But what I'm saying is they used to have things geared towards kids. I don't think anymore. I mean, I think it was CIBC, my first kiddie account or something like that, or can't remember, but it was always exciting. A little book, yeah.
Where they always wrote it in, because mine predated computers completely.
Well, it was very, very, I remember your grandparents from your father's side, they always bought Canada savings bonds.
Yeah.
And now, where do you buy Canada savings bonds?
Yeah, you can't.
You can't anymore.
And when we bought the house in Oakville, and we bought,
when we built the swimming pool,
we cashed our savings bonds. That's how we were able to do it.
Yeah.
And so rather than keeping the money in the savings bonds, there it went into the swimming pool, and everybody enjoyed that swimming pool to the nines.
Yeah.
So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Canada savings bonds. I wish the government would do that again and start again, because it was secure. You never lose your money.
Yeah.
It was low interest, but
the government's
it was safe.
Up to its ears in debt.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
And now it's just crazy. But, your grandparents were good savers. man, your grandmother was really good with the money too.
Yeah.
Grandma Catherine.
A little story. When just before Mom came, I bought a pickup truck. So this would have been in 71.
Yeah.
And I bought a pickup truck, International Harvester, brand new.
Yeah.
$2,700. And I had to borrow about $2,000 from my father, thereabouts. And been paying a little bit back, but not much. And my parents weren't all that good. My mother was not that good with your mom.
Yeah.
And but your mom was fastidious in her saving because she knew that we had debt with my parents. And at that time, it was about $800 left still in debt. And she put the money together, and we went over there one Sunday. And because my mother used to always say, kids only come back when they need money. That was their belief, that we had no real deep affection other than to come for money.
Yeah.
And Mom put the $800 on the table, and my mother's eyes just bulged out of her head because none of my brothers or sister ever returned money. Never.
Yeah.
It was always a one-way street.
See, that's one thing. I don't like to owe anything to anybody. It's funny that way. I don't feel good when.
Well, you like your freedom.
Yeah.
Well, one of the nice things in the company, the way we work, is we do deeply trust each other. I know that when I saw Mom for the first time in Durango, she came around with the rest of the soccer team that was playing in the tournament there, and I saw her for the first time, and I knew she was straight as a whistle, smart and just straight.
Yeah.
100%. It was obvious.
Yeah.
And she was good looking.
Didn't hurt.
Didn't hurt. And
thank you, Tony, because, like my brother Antonio always made me feel the ugliest woman in the world.
Well, it's
projection.
Yeah.
Well, so that was easy. On that note, she made a trip ahead of me going to Mexico. And
after you were married.
After we were married. So she went from Canada to Mexico, and I was in the bus terminal in Toluca. This is the old bus terminal in the downtown where the buses went underneath the terminal. And I was waiting there, and I was expecting her to show up to pick me up. Mm-hmm. And I saw her way in the other end of the terminal. So it's about 200 feet, maybe even more. Mm-hmm. And, it's the concourse running across the top. And I saw her, and I smiled and said, "Hey, there she is." And I, bright eyes, it was Louisa.
It's your sister.
She was the spitting image. I could not tell them apart.
That's funny.
Yes, it was funny. Not until she got close. Then it was obvious.
Yeah.
And, so whatever they want to say, they always had good things to say about Louisa, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that she was so good looking. So there you go. You look like her. So you got to be good looking.
No, there you should see her now. She's beautiful. She's just like, I go, huh? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you're beautiful too. So
Thank you.
So there you go. And so one of the things that I liked always about doing business together, and this is a peculiarity of the business, because everybody always talks business plans and talk this and plan that, plan this, plan that. And we never once did a budget.
I did.
Well, if you did a budget, you didn't tell me about it.
And then I see my cash flow. And
I didn't know. She never told me once what she's got in the bank. She always kept it concealed. She kept her cards close to her chest.
No, I know. I don't conceal anything from you. I gave you the financial statements, but she said, I don't have to read that stuff. So.
No, it's okay. All right. And then on the other hand, I would design product and I would price it however I felt like.
Yeah, I never got involved in that.
Okay, so you're talking about trust, that you trust each other.
That's right.
There's a deep trust with each
That's
other running
right.
the business. And you guys were married 10 years, right?
No.
And then you started the business.
No, it was about...
You guys got married in 72.
It's about
10 years, 10, 11 years. We were 31.
10 years and 2 kids.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a fair amount of time to get to know each other.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I know you said you trusted each other right off the bang, but, for things to kind of really become stable.
No, I never doubted.
No, never doubted.
No, not stable in your relationship, but just for there to be time to do this. You know what I mean? Because at first, it's like I don't think you'd start a business right away as a, newlyweds or something like that.
Well, you never.
Well, the circumstances weren't there. But like the minute that
either put your nose at the door, you take it.
Yeah, we just jumped through.
Yeah.
And other opportunities knocked. I mean, the owner of Electronic Metal Form offered me a job.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
And arranged for a job with Bell Canada. And we weren't taken. I mean, we were in deep into what we were doing. And it was just starting to percolate. And you could see it starting to come together. But there was a lag.
When we started the business, there was nothing to lose. We had nothing to lose. So
the Reagan recession.
It wasn't like you need $200,000 to start a business. No, you just started and with some credit, and there was nothing to lose. Nothing.
Yeah.
So we had nothing. We could end up with nothing. So it wouldn't be a loss.
Yeah.
So we took the chance,
and I think
it worked
you always had a belief that you could always land on your feet.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It wasn't like, oh no, if this is a bust, I'm nothing. You know what I mean? I'll get a job doing something else.
Absolutely. You can get a job, you can start something else. There's so many opportunities out there.
Yeah. It's once you know you can do something, you know you can do it.
Right.
And that's the sweet part of it.
Yeah.
And so and the irony is that, like, even with the downturns that happened in 2007, you just say, well, I'm going to turn it around. You just believe in yourself and you just keep on going.
No, you know what I said to myself? I'm going to show those bankers.
There you go. So that's always the thing.
Always the thing. I'm going to show them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's for me.
Yeah. Somebody sticks something in your side. You're like, that's it. That's the prod that gets you going.
Oh, absolutely. I don't give up.
Yeah. Now there's a challenge.
That's right.
Now it's fun.
And for me, it's that they put us in a competitive situation.
You like the competition.
Oh, yeah. I relish.
Challenges again,
I relish that.
I'm sure you like challenges too.
That it gets me going.
Yeah.
I love pressure.
You like pressure?
I love pressure.
All right. I'll remember that.
Yeah. I don't like arguments.
Oh,
I love pressure. Yeah, because I'm a softie. I really am.
Yeah. Okay.
I never, like, I was good in hockey. Yeah. I never had any stomach for the heavy going. I didn't want to fight with anyone.
Yeah.
So it just wasn't me.
Yeah.
And Adrian your brother is pretty much the same story. He didn't have any love for the heavy going in hockey.
No.
He was an excellent hockey player. He could fly like a jet.
He doesn't like fighting with people. Like in school, I remember kids used to pick on him and he just walked away.
Yeah.
And to his credit.
There you go. Looking at the company, do you have any proudest aspects of it that it's still around, I think, and that it's producing good product and it stands for something. There's not been like an element of sellout in the business.
I think that one of the proudest times for me was when we built a factory in Mississauga. And that
was a beautiful factory.
It was a beautiful factory. And it was sad to leave it, but you know what? The way the area is going, it's just like it would have been just a matter of time.
Yeah.
Because it's not good to be there.
No, the zoning, they relaxed all the zoning laws.
It's
and
terrible
everything.
now. and the
And
crime
it's
and everything. No, and everything has changed.
Yeah.
So it's not what it used to be, because when we started looking to build a factory, and we said Meadowvale, oh my God, that is, and we never thought, I never dreamed that we would have
had that.
Yeah.
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 Go with the best.
Yeah.
And right next door to the
hotel.
Meadowvale Inn, which that's what it was before the Delta got in and before the Hilton, took it over.
Yeah.
Well, I like to
that
thank
was the creme de la creme spot.
I like to thank Hazel McCallion, the mayor of Mississauga, for so many years, because she did a beautiful job with the city. And once she's gone, they don't know how to run that city anymore.
No, it's obvious.
Yeah.
No, she ran that city just so beautiful.
Yeah, because it went downhill right after.
Now, you want to look at somebody's life, the leadership. She had the leadership.
Yeah.
A little one, but boy, such a powerful woman.
And she had respect all over Canada.
The passion that she had for the city.
Really?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And she was so proud. It says, "Oh yeah, Toronto is a suburb of Mississauga."
It's kind of true. Mississauga is huge.
We always thought, it was always I thought for sure the city of Mississauga would honor her.
Yeah.
For what she did, because she pieced all the communities together that became Mississauga. It wasn't like a county or something that was instantaneously there.
For credit, it was this, it was that, and she put it all together. And she had very good people working in the different departments, because the planning department, I remember when they built the hospital, and I said, what is the hospital doing in the middle of cornfields?
Yeah.
But they had a vision.
Yeah.
They built the 403. They built the Mississauga Road all the way up. They built all around, all the infrastructure ready for the city to grow. And the vision that those people had with the mayor, amazing.
They actually sold their know-how about city planning to a lot of other cities.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Mississauga was that good.
And while Hazel McCallion was running in the city, she was always in the surplus, never in the negative, never.
Yeah.
So what made her so good?
She's always said, there's no room for government in the boardrooms of businesses. So let the business be the business. Help them to grow.
And she helped us.
Give them what they need to grow.
How did she help?
Was the exact opposite of what we ran into in North Carolina. Exact opposite.
So how
Open
did she
the doors,
help you?
speed things up.
You could call her up, and she would cut through to the, let's say if there were engineers bogging you down or somebody in one department or other, and she'd cut right through it, straighten this out, get it done.
Let them build their factory.
When we built the plant on Mississauga Road, on Century, in that year, the bond market had blown up.
Yeah.
And construction had completely ground to a halt.
Yeah.
And because we were doing so well on the international stage, like we were exporting just a ton of product.
Yeah.
Our construction project was the largest construction project in Mississauga
at that time.
Wow.
So it caught their attention.
Yeah.
And then when we opened, Mom actually asked Harris, the premier.
He came.
Yeah. And Charlie and Gloria came because, and they were what I really sort of treasured. That was, and they were almost like alternate parents for me in many ways.
Yeah.
And they were so surprised. They go, oh, my goodness.
Oh, that we honored them. They helped establish the company.
Yeah.
They opened the doors
to.
Yeah. And my former partner, this is funny. He met Charlie.
Oh. And
because he knew that Charlie he got talking to me one day, and I says, this just isn't going well.
Right.
And he got the lowdown.
Yeah.
And Charlie looked him up.
Oh.
And absolutely, it scared the living hell out of him, intimidated him.
Really?
That's why he got out in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
He wanted out.
Charlie Hill.
Yes.
You dark horse, you.
Little angel.
He says, he's your sort of like alternate father. something like that. And he says, and I bet you he can be a mean one. Something like that too.
Yeah.
And it was some expletives because, the guy was always expletives. Between beers, it was expletives.
Oh, okay.
When you consider that since inception, since 1983, we've carried the largest bank in Canada consistently and actually maintained relationships with key people through that entire time. And that's fun, It's unfortunate for, like in a lot of other the banks, because we were the dominant player for a long time. It's unfortunate that so many people retired, and because there were so many good relationships, and over the years, 43, 45 years is a long time. I guess it's 40.
Well,
Is it
it's
45?
42. It's 42 years,
42
right?
years.
Because it's 2026. What, 43 years this year?
It's gonna be
43.
We're losing track.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, I guess it's a natural course now that people
retire
that
or
they've retired.
go together,
no,
But it's just that we had such a long run. It's kind of like with our employees, right?
Mm-hmm.
We have such a long run, and it's like you're looking at, okay, there's going to be a changeover. There's changeover with clients. There's changeover
there's challenge
with
with the clients
employees.
and there's challenge with the staff for NovaLink because then you had to start replacing.
Yeah. And
Right.
rebuilding.
Yeah. And it's the maturation of the company, that you go, okay, well, is it going to make it through the next cycle?
Mm-hmm.
And that's always, will it make it through the hurdle?
So it's really been a source of pride all that time. And there's been other companies like that we've carried for just forever. It's just you look after them and they keep coming back. Air Canada's one, Siena's one.
Well, even some that leave and then they come back.
And it was really a big source of pride that in I can't remember the year exactly, but that we hired the entire graduating class in
Humber College.
Yeah, from Humber College.
There were two.
It doesn't matter. We hired the entire graduating class, everybody that was available. And that's how we approached it. We were ready to take everybody.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. And Daryl is
still there.
Yeah, very much so. So we've had a lot of interesting people, in the company.
Oh, yes. You can write 10 books.
There you go. 10 books about all the people.
Absolutely.
But there's the family in Mexico. There's the family, Chatham, Windsor, and then abroad. And then there's the Port Credit family, with the Hills and everybody that they brought us into. The Hills gave us a whole life there, Port Credit. And then we have the family, at the company.
Mm-hmm.
And we're so lucky.
Absolutely. And you saw the employees coming to work single. They get married. They have children. The children get married. We've gone to, children's weddings.
Yeah.
And then there'll be grandchildren coming along. Yeah. It's great.
Yeah.
And we always remember our Christmas parties.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Some of the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
we used to have black tie Christmas parties with hired the house band from the old mill.
But Tony, things have changed. Not only for our companies, for all of the companies, even the big ones. Absolutely. They don't have parties like that.
People don't necessarily have interest in it anymore.
No.
Yeah.
No.
And there's lawsuits against, drinking and driving, and you are so exposed to so many things, and then you say, I don't need it as a company.
Yeah, the drinking can be a problem and all that. So,
but it used to be a big deal that when we were having those really lovely Christmas parties, and so many of the employees were staying overnight.
Hotel, yeah.
The girls that we would have fancy dress, we'd get our hair done. It was a real event.
It was a real event.
And I think there's still, Daryl, his eyes light up when we talk about the old Christmas. We like to have another. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
A few people are keen.
I think there are a few people who would do it. So So
maybe one of these days, one of these years, we'll have a big party.
Big old Christmas party.
And we'll invite previous employees,
There you go.
former employees, and they'll love to come.
Yeah. I like to think of, his name was Brian, right? The miracle that he had.
Yes, a very interesting story.
He had that illness that I think he had. They basically said he had years to live. Really, like only.
It was less than years. It was a short while. Yes.
And then he had met another girl, or met a girl
that had the same disease.
But we had him so busy working that he just forgot all about his disease.
No. He didn't forget about his disease.
No.
Because he was very yellow sometimes of taking the medicine that he was taking. And then sometimes the pain was so bad, and I didn't know this, that he was drinking.
Yeah.
To kill the pain. And that's why sometimes Wilfredo used to pick him up and take him home. I thought I had no idea he was drinking.
We didn't know he was.
And actually, Brian got a job at Humber College thanks to Adrian.
Oh, really?
Yes, because Adrian taught him a lot of the computer.
We're missing out here on something, that they came out with a cure.
Absolutely.
For his illness. I can't remember what the illness was, but they came out with a cure. And so he's
happy.
But he spoke to me and he says, I've gone way past the time period that they gave me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He says, I've gone right past it. And he did give that we had him so busy, and he enjoyed his work.
Well, I mean, both of you have gone through, health issues recently, and being able to continue working has been a huge help.
Huge help.
Mentally, it takes you out of, really like a rut. But I just think it's cool, when we think about all the people who've worked for us and stuff like that. And I just thought, it had nothing to do with us. We didn't come up with the cure, but it was just a lovely story.
It's a miracle.
That he still lives to this day.
He still lives to this day, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So.
Yeah.
And Wilfredo beat cancer too.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we keep on going with NovaLink, and we'll take the challenges and try to move it forward and do our best.
Thanks for checking out Workspace Design Lab. If you're an architect, interior designer, or workplace professional looking to stay ahead in ergonomic office design and modern workspace interiors, make sure to follow the show on your favorite podcast platform. For more resources on sustainable office furniture and human-centered workspace design, visit us at novalink.com. Until next time.